Hello, this is Nigel Evans with the Event Planning Academy, and today I'd like to talk to you about how you should put together an event budget. Now, if we're truthful with each other, many of us do have an aversion to mathematics, perhaps dating back to those years in school or college. We may, as a consequence, not be very good at keeping track of expenses and often tend to wing it when it comes to personal expenditure and household budgeting. As event planners tend to be the creative type, anything to do with mundane administrative and accounting tasks can seem to be dour at the best of times. Yet, as painful as it may be to come to the stark realization, a person who does not have absolute control over an event budget is effectively not in control of the event at all. As we know that control is at the very essence when staging an effective event, it's time to be very clear about just how important budgeting for your special event is going to be. This is not to say that the process has to be inordinately difficult or complex, and it's best to be as straightforward and simple as possible when structuring the budgetary projection. Above all else, you have to be realistic, and you also have to remember that this event is going to operate in the real world. As a consequence, you have to build in those contingencies. As you become more used to organizing special events, you will become more adept at visualizing a budget at the very earliest stages of conception. This will enable you to cultivate what will amount to a sixth sense to help you determine whether the concept is viable or not. There's no getting away from it. Occasionally, the event planner becomes so enthusiastic about a particular idea that there is a tendency to overestimate or to add a certain amount of ticket sales potential or probability of sponsorship. You must learn to guard against this as you keep both feet firmly planted on the ground. When working with clients, the first thing you need to do is to convince yourself of the absolute viability of the event. You must always be very clear and able to back up your budget projection with solid reasoning. You must always have a formal budget at your fingertips, and ultimately this will help you to work to formulate your annual accounts as well. Remember that from time to time such accounts may be in line for an audit from taxation authorities or from those who you may approach to invest in your operations. Practically, the budget is a projection of what income and expenditure is related to the event itself. Some elements here are quite easy to calculate or project, while other elements could be variable according to the number of participants. Also, you may have to project certain costs that are apportioned. You should maintain a budget that is regularly accessible via your computer. This may be contained within a proprietary software package such as Excel, or you could access it through some cloud service provider, meaning that you are constantly in touch with all the details so long as you have internet access or a browser somewhere. Break the budget down into categories. Essentially, in terms of expenditure, these are administration, operations, and marketing. Within each category, you could display subcategories such as these: general office costs, salaries and wages, management fees and travel costs. Under administration. Under operations, you could have survey costs, venue costs, hotel, catering, hospitality, insurance, entertainment, merchandising, sanction fees, direct production costs, travel and accommodation, communication, and of course other expenditure. Whereas under marketing, you should expect to see advertising, print and design, distribution, internet marketing, website costs, and media and public relations. As you gather together the relevant cost projections here, remember that it is equally important to construct a working cash flow projection as well. Cash flow can represent the life or death of any business or special event, and it is crucial that you populate this document carefully and correctly. Once again, do not overestimate the receipt date for certain categories of income. Be very careful to ensure that you are aware of potential danger points associated with the due date for large down payments in advance to venues and so on. Always err on the side of caution and keep on top of your cash flow regularly. It's a good idea to create a template within your software program, enabling you to compare weekly cash flow on a budget versus actual basis. Update these fields on a weekly basis so that you can see if there is a danger that you will fall behind the projection. The more you keep on top of this kind of comparison, the more likely you are to be able to make adjustments or amendments as necessary before things start to get critical. The actual complexity of your budget will of course depend on the type of event you're putting together. There are some first-class software packages available today to enable you to develop individual worksheets for specific areas of the budget, all linked together and updated automatically. It pays to develop a great template to start off with and to ensure that you stick to protocol whenever allocating costs within. Once again, don't make it too complex for the sake of it, but do ensure that you update with clarity, with purpose, and often. If you maintain a separate bank account for the specific event, you will also want to reconcile the books against your bank balance on a regular basis. If you do not, then you can simply use category totals and carry forward that information over to your overall business budget sheets and reconcile from there. If you are the person in charge of ensuring that this event runs smoothly and is a success, then it's recommended that you are ultimately the one responsible for managing the overall budget. If not, be very clear when you delegate this how important this task is. We are talking about the lifeblood of your business here. Budgets that are left to their own devices, as it were, can and will deliver shocks to not only you and your staff, but also to the future viability of your business. So there you have it. There's an overview of the budget importance when you're organizing a special event. We hope to talk to you again very soon. Bye bye for now.